Holy
Buddy,
moly.
another. We had just had some technical difficulties as usual
Of
when we're
course,
dealing with a
man.
Monday
Man,
morning.
it's becoming a habit.
it's,
It's becoming a habit.
it's becoming routine, I tell you. So, Mayhem Monday, picking a topic live on air.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
What? Daman comes in and sweeps in the victory this morning, gents. Look at
Yes.
that. 24 seconds in. So, DJ, how was the weekend, brother?
Dude, the weekend was amazing, man.
You had your wedding this weekend. You were best man this weekend. You had a lot of stuff happening this weekend. We were graced with Maggie's right arm on Friday's
right.
episode. It was
She
awesome.
got
I
that.
like Mark Ridley's post this morning, and Maggie graced us with her right hand on Friday's episode. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah, no,
So, did you have a good
the
time?
weekend was amazing, man. I can't thank my cousin and his beautiful bride for making me the best man and just having me and Maggie be a part of it. We never did any kind of destination wedding like that before, so it was really fun. It was cool. Doing it on the beach. It's so funny. So I asked them prior to. I said, "Hey, I gotta share." Oh, look, there comes the right arm again. I gotta share. I said I gotta share. So I gotta share this story. But so of course I DJ'd. If anybody who didn't know that, yes, I
So
am
hold on,
DJ.
DJs?
Yes, that's correct.
No way, really?
I swear, yes. I DJ'd for a long time. But so I DJ'd
gotta
DJ
ask.
wedding.
Okay, so hold on, I gotta ask, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Did the DJ come from DJing, or you just don't like your actual name, so you prefer DJ?
No. So, well, I'll share this story. So, my full name is actually David James, but my mom so my dad's actual full name is David Wayne. My middle name's different for the fact that my mom said she couldn't see calling a baby David. So, I've been DJ since I was born. So, literally, I get called David first day of school throughout her life, and I changed that right away. No, it's DJ, not David. And then I did it for work for a little bit when I thought I had to wear the suits and be, somebody different. And then I said, no, I'm just going to be me. So
It's funny because I remember when you and I first connected, it was like, "Hey, David," you're like, "It's DJ." Like, "Oh, hey, DJ. All right, perfect. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
I'll fix everybody right away. It's DJ.
Okay, so you just happened to fall into DJing afterwards.
Yeah, literally
Pretty
just fell
interesting.
into
You
it.
already
Yeah.
had the name, so yeah, there you go. You didn't
Love
even
of
have to
music
create a
and
handle.
fell into it. But yeah. So I used to wedding DJ weddings a lot, and I hated. It was just so stressful. The bride, you never know what's going to happen. You're so scared. Like if something goes wrong, it's you. And so like it's just so stressful. So I had to ask her. It was the end of the night. I said, "Hey, so how'd it go? Any like little things that like threw off?" She tells us this story, and oh my goodness. So they hired this wedding planner. Shout out to the wedding planner. They did amazing. Their team was amazing. Everything was great. The food was great. The DJ. Shout out to the DJ. He had so much fun. And we had so much fun. But so she's telling the story that she asked if anybody is good at opening champagne. And we're like, why are you asking this? And then she says the wedding planner was trying to open it and shot her right in the nose. Hit her, the bride, in the nose. And I thought, oh my, it's like I would have dropped the bottle and walked out. That was it. I'm done. Like I would have been so embarrassed. Done. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I
Like
just did
what?
that.
So this happened at the wedding you were at?
Right
At
before,
your
yes.
cousin's wedding?
Yes. Yeah. While she was getting ready, taking pictures and getting dressed up, the wedding planner opened the bottle and shot her in the nose.
No way.
Swear. So
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Right?
Imagine like that those can cause
Imagine
some
that.
serious damage, like black eyes and everything. Imagine
Yes.
that just before the
I
wedding.
could have
That is
destroyed the whole
hilarious.
thing. So
Yeah.
thank God it didn't. But yeah, it turned out beautiful. She was beautiful, and it was amazing. So thank
So
you for
you see what you've started here, because Jeff's already okay, David.
yeah. I DJ.
That is awesome, brother. That is awesome. I'm
Thanks,
glad
dude.
to hear that. That's
How
good.
about
That's
you?
good.
You
It
working
was a
more?
great weekend. It was, yeah, I got more done on the cabana. I got more done around the pool. Actually took some time this weekend just to kind of hang out and relax for a couple hours, and then realize that I can't relax for a couple hours. Yeah, the usual.
Yeah.
All right, are you all set, brother? Because I noticed your camera just went on a little bit of a light show there again.
Oh,
So,
it's yeah, guys. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
it's okay. It's okay. It stopped. It's okay. It's okay. You ready?
Yep.
Can you hear it, or can you see it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? All right.
Right there.
Okay. So this is actually a really cool one. I don't know if we've ever. I think we've talked about this a little bit. Giveaway info or assistance, regardless of doing business together. Interesting one. So what I did is down here, I wrote the law of reciprocity, and if you give, you will get.
Yes.
Kind of a little bit on like Zig Ziglar. You help enough people achieve their goals, you're going to achieve your goals. A little bit on the Bob Proctor's law of reciprocity and the Go Giver. So when we say something like giveaway info or assistance, regardless of doing business together, what do you think of, DJ?
Not this industry, no. It's from working at the places I've worked at, it felt like a lockbox. I didn't even feel like I was part of a team because it felt like everything was secret.
Well, there is. I do, and I mean, I have no other industry to compare it to.
Yeah.
But I do find people hold a lot of things really close to their chest in fear of, if I give somebody in my company that supplier name, I'm no longer going to have that supplier, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah. It's frustrating. I'll tell you, for new people coming into this, like myself, that wanted to learn. When I started, I wanted, I had to find my niche, so I tried just a little bit of everything, and so even dabbling with like LTO and stuff, I had so many questions, and nobody. Well, I could just give you a rate. Well, how are you getting that rate? What do you mean? Like, explain. No, I just did. And it's like, come on, like, tell me more. Like, I want more, and I think, if we give that stuff, it always. I'm just truly under the belief that if we give away, we're going to get so much more back. And
well, we will. I mean, I couldn't even count how many times I couldn't compete on lanes, and customers like, "Damn, I'm really having a problem." I'm like, "Okay, we'll call this carrier. Tell them I told you to call them, and take it from there." I've given away business. I've helped prospects and clients, even if there was no monetary gain for me, just to make sure that they got their stuff done right. Like, I still do it with Greg. I still do it with Thomas. I still do it with Hugo. I still do it with a bunch of customers because I'm not really in the game. They say, "Hey, what about this, this, and this?" I just finished it with another customer of mine at Giant Tiger, where they're like, "We need this and this." I said, "Well, here's your person you talk to." I kind of mitigate the deal, and then I walk away.
Yeah.
And, I think we really need to do that, because here's something that I want to make sure I put out there. So, and a little bit off topic, but yeah, I just thought of it again, and I think it's very, very apparent. So, we talked about follow-up. We talked about, consistently being in contact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about follow-up between follow-ups.
Yeah.
And I was on the other side of one this morning. So a couple of months ago, somebody contacted me about a service, and I said, "Listen, the company's not there yet. We're in the process of development. We're still wireframing, but we will be there, and I'm hoping by June, the end of June. Contact me by the end of June." So we happened to be there like 3 weeks early. I totally forgot about this person, and they just contacted me this morning saying, "Hey, are you ready to talk about it?" And as I'm reading, I'm going, "Man, I already secured a deal on that." I like and no,
But they didn't follow up in between.
No, but I told them, yeah. And so this is where like I said, contact me at the end of June. Because August 11th, we've got big things happening, and you know what I mean. So we're like 6 weeks away from that, and I figured, okay, I'm looking at kind of the mainframe and how it's working, and I'm saying, okay, we'll be there at this time, so that's pretty cool. So, but we just happened to be a couple of weeks ahead when it came to that piece. I thought it was going to be developed further along down, and it actually got developed at the beginning. So we're actually already had conversations like 2 weeks ago about APIs and being able to see this and this, and it hit me this morning because I totally forgot this person connected with me because like us when we call our prospects, they get hundreds of calls. Nobody's remembering Dan or DJ or anyone, and so
we would love to believe that they're thinking of us after we call, but literally something happens. This crashes. This pallet falls. This the world is always going on.
Yeah. But it goes back to follow up between your follow-ups.
Yes.
Because I could almost guarantee if this person would, and listen, the follow-up between follow-ups, I mean, it was a concept that I started using and it really helped, but I only really brought it to the market like a year ago. Right. So it's one of those things where if they haven't followed up between follow-ups, nobody would probably know because the customer's saying, or the prospect saying, hey, connect with me at the end of June. And you're thinking, well, I don't want to be an asshole and kind of connect with them before. I'll connect with him. And just so he did his job properly, because it was literally like 7:30 this morning. I got a message.
Yeah,
so he was on it. He listened. And now I actually feel bad because I forgot about him. So I'm actually trying to figure out a way mentally, will this work? Like, can I add him in somewhere? But anyways, I know it was off topic, but just because I remembered that for everybody watching and listening, like figure out a way to follow up between those follow-ups, because if somebody said to you, hey, and listen, full transparency, when this person messaged me, I totally forgot I asked them to connect with me. But then I scroll through the messages and I'm like, oh crap, I asked them to connect me. And because I'm ahead of schedule, it's like you go to that immediate person that you've spoken to, and I think that's what's going to happen in most of the times when we're prospecting. Like unless you had an outrageous conversation, the person just remembers you. But reality is follow up between follow up. Everybody, it
absolutely
works. It works very well.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, though, Dan, because I think and that's giving, and we are talking about giving, so I don't think it's off topic, but I think that is a good. If you guys are having that issue where you're talking to a client and you're waiting till that time and then you're constantly getting there and they then found another decision, you have to follow up before. And I think some good things is just make it a quick little thing. I've always done it because the way that I don't know, maybe I am just a little kid still, but the way I've always done sales is kind of like the kid mentality. I mean, I've been raising kids my whole life, so maybe that's why but it's the constant, just go back in for another try, just real quick. Like,
really, just like 19 teaser, like, kids, you've been raising them your whole life? That's crazy.
I feel like it, but yes. But so it's always a comeback. Like, hey, do you think we can now? And then just disappear real quick. Hey, are you ready now? And then just disappear. And so like I brought that with this, and so I would do follow-ups between, but it would be, hey, just thought you might, and so bring something of value to them, either just a motivational thing to make their day, a quote or something is what I would do, or some sort of like news article that I thought might bring some value to them. Hey, just reminding you of our follow-up, just seeing if, and then it really will
changed,
trigger.
Timelines have changed. Has something changed? Hey, I'm around if something has, and that I love that where you said add value, give them something of value. I also think as a sales rep, if a customer comes to you and there's no margin in it for you to work, give them your supplier.
Yeah.
Say like, listen, I'll set it up. I'll organize it for you. And even if they're not a customer, that will go so much further than anything you can ever do. Like I have people that I haven't dealt with in years that still call me. And some people will say, yeah, but are they taking advantage of you? And I think, what is taking
even if they
advantage
are,
of you?
even
But what
even
is it?
if
What is
even
that?
Yeah, even if they are, you are helping them, and I do believe givers gain is the model of is BNI, and it's you go in with the idea that you're giving referrals. Going you're not going expecting them; they're just going to come. You give enough, and you just keep giving; it'll come back tenfold. And I truly
Mm-hmm.
believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why number one was if you give, you will get. And you don't give with the expectation to get. You
No,
don't.
no, no.
Oh, well,
Most
Mr.
well,
Customer, I hooked you up, so you're going to give me that lane that I've
yeah,
always
yeah,
wanted. I mean, not in that respect, but the fact is, if your mission, right, as a high performing sales rep, if your mission is to help the customer achieve their goal,
yep,
then whether you're involved with 100% of that achievement or 10% or 20% or 30%, your mission is to help them achieve their goal. So if there's areas that you have that can help them, but it's a matter of margin or a matter of whatever, do the right thing and give
hmm
them the right information to help them achieve the goals. I go back to you know our conversation last week and your show with Trey,
hmm
right? Trey talked a lot on that show about how we helped him start the podcast, and we
yeah,
had the conversations and we rooted him on, and we go
yeah,
because, like, no matter what, and I've seen the hoarding of customers and sales leads in people's systems. I've seen it all.
yeah,
There's so much out there for everyone. No
yes.
one needs to hoard anything. No one needs to hoard airtime or anything like that, which is why we
Mhm.
push people to go out and just, like, get outside your comfort zone, do things that
Right.
people would not normally do, and you look at the success they have.
Yeah.
And that was, giving assistance without doing business together. It's not
Mhm.
like us and Beta Consulting Group are doing business together. It was like,
Yeah.
listen, you have a message. It's a great message. Here's what you should really do and consider it. Be prepared. It's going to be a lot of work, but really consider it. And he's loving it. And that's
Well,
just one example, right?
yeah.
Because there's no monetary
Well, exactly.
mission in
Yes. Yeah, there is nothing except, and that's what we should be doing. That's what we, and to Greg's point, I think Greg has a great comment. Giving in business with no expectation is like giving a Christmas present and getting an ugly tie in return. Who cares? You did what you did what brought happiness to someone else. Besides, you needed an ugly tie. I think that's funny, and
it.
I think that's a
we
great
all
way
need
to
we
look.
all need a couple of those to go into
Of
business
course, yeah,
meetings with,
yeah.
because we're like, damn, I remember that guy. Jeepers, he was wearing a suit and a bow tie. That was crazy. That was like Pee Wee Herman shit. But
And I think, but back to the whole reciprocity and thinking that the person, I think that's the biggest trap of it, guys. We think the people that we help are then in return supposed to help us. The universe will give back to you. Don't expect it back from the person you help. Most of the time, your payback in return, I believe, doesn't come from that person ever. So don't expect it. Just give.
yeah, it's a very good point. Also, it'll come back somewhere, not necessarily back from the source that you gave from, which makes sense. There are people out there that just want to take, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, we've all
Oh
seen it,
yeah.
right? Give me
Oh yeah.
rates, give me rates, give me rates, give me rates. And don't get me wrong, like, the one thing that I think we should address, DJ, when we're addressing this,
Mm,
is there will always, regardless of what you do, I don't care if it's logistics, I don't care if it's in friendship, I don't care where it is, there are going to be people you meet that are just going to try and take, 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 take.
of course.
And the one thing I remember asking Bob Bird this when I first read The Go Giver, because The Go Giver's premise is you give, you give, you give. And I
Mm.
remember saying to Bob, when do we become a doormat? Because I
It
think it's
feels
a
like it
question
can
we've
feel
all
like
asked.
it. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a question we've all asked. Does this prospect, does this customer treat me like a doormat? Am I being
Mhm.
used like a doormat? Are my
Mm.
friends, are my family, like, all of these different things I think do come into play. And I remember asking Bob that, and he says, Dan, you'll never be treated like a doormat if you don't want to be treated like a doormat. He says everybody has a different
Yes.
point at that where that
You have to be honest with,
perspective starts happening.
yeah. When you just
And
have to
and
be honest, if you start to feel that way, I think you have to then take that step back and say, okay, I'm not liking this. And instead of this animosity or bad thing, you just got to cut it. You just got to be honest with, well,
Now, do you
they
cut it
might
or
not
do
feel
you
that
ask
way.
the question?
What's that?
Do you cut it or do you ask the question? See, because here's the flip side of it,
Yeah.
right? That person
Yeah.
might
Not realize
be
it.
genuinely asking because you're the resource.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is where it becomes this
Yes.
fine
You're so
line. It's
right.
as fine as a razor's edge. Is I know people that, like, you take Dean, for example, Dean Crook, right? Anything when it comes to data, my first person, because I know it's solid. I know that he's not going to sugarcoat the information. I know I'm going to get the reality of what I'm asking. But at what point sending Dean emails and asking becomes, is he using me? Right.
Yeah.
And I only use Dean for that example because Dean has
Because he has
told
so
us.
much damn knowledge. No.
No. But Dean has told us since he started doing the show, he gets
Yeah.
email after email after email from people saying,
I
"Hey,
know.
what do you have for data on this?" And he
Yeah.
says, and
I'm trying to
Dan,
run
and
race through
again,
him. Yeah.
well, but no. But I mean, but here's the point, right? Is he says, Dan, I don't mind helping, and I love helping, but at what point do you have to buy the software, right? Like, buy the tool that gives you that information. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because before he said that, I would have emailed him at the drop of a dime because he's the expert. So at what you see, and this I think is a big point when it comes to giving assistance regardless of doing business together. Again, some people might say, well, if the prospect thinks you're an asset, why would you not do business together? Very good point. But I think it's kind of like in high school being in the friend zone. It's just overlooked, right? So I don't know, and I don't know what that
Well,
answer is, but I would say ask the questions. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I
yeah,
kind of feel like you come to me all the time, and what is the possibilities of doing business? And I'll share one, just a quick story, DJ, because I know what you're going to say is very. I feel what you're going to say. There was a somebody that went to Dean and asked for like 15 different lanes, and Dean says, "I'll do one, but that's it."
yeah.
Right. So Dean was like, okay, hey, whoa, here, I'll do one, and then that's it. And so it's very important, I think, that we as sales reps, we give to a point where we're not a doormat, but also have the conversations. Like, don't be afraid to have the conversation. Say, hey, listen, like, I've bid you 19 times. Like, where is all that business? Where were we from a pricing perspective? Like, I helped you here.
Yes.
How did it work out? Like, what was the end result? And get that feedback.
I agree completely. And I think, yeah, you hit it right
Craig
there.
says you hit it right there. So Jeff says, absolutely, I try to help and give as much as I can. However, I expect nothing in return. You have seen it, Dan and GJ. I think it's everyone's job to help those in need. 100%. And Daman says, important key is give without expectations. Give because it makes you happy.
David,
and 100%.
my man.
Happiness is priceless. People just like being happy with people, or even working with people who brighten their day. And I think that's key. Daman hit that on the head. Huge. All three of you did. All three of you. Greg,
I mean,
Jeff,
and Daman
Daman,
is the prime example of that. Shout out to you, Daman. Seriously, you are everything you just said there. You are doing daily. I know that. So thank you.
Yeah. And it's I think that doormat piece is a big piece, though, DJ. I think that doormat piece is a piece we all have to decide what that point is, and make sure that if we get there, the conversation, that something happens, because
I think that conversation is key, but I think even before that, I think if we just set clear expectations or clear intentions of, I love helping you do all of this stuff, but my goal is hopefully at the end to show you my value and get your business, and then right then, is that going to? But yes, we have to have the conversation.
But does that then turn into giving with expecting?
Yeah, it is. But if that is why we're doing it, and we're feeling like like a doormat for that person because we're giving that, hoping to eventually get their business, I mean, we are. We just have to call it for what it is in that situation. But if you're just giving, not expecting anything back from that person, I don't think you would really feel like a doormat then.
No, you don't think like down the road, a year from now, when the same thing's happening? And
Oh yeah, of course. Well, yeah, and
so
then you have to
I
just
think
say it.
there's a
You have to
certain
say
point at
yes.
every position
You have
where
to
we
say it
feel that
because
way.
you have to be honest with how you feel. You
Mhm.
can't have this weird feeling. I think that's a big thing too. But I think that's more. Sometimes it doesn't need a confrontation. Sometimes it does. But I think that's just more. We have to be honest with what we're feeling. And if you feel like you can have that conversation, be like, hey, I've been giving you like quotes and been giving you all this stuff for a while. Like, I'd love to earn your business. Like, is that eventually like something we can do? Then yeah, definitely have that conversation. But yeah, I
And
think
do you think, okay, so here's where I think that we should distinguish the difference. Giving quotes is a part of doing business,
yes,
right? Where when we
job.
talk about giving without expectation, or giving and helping a customer achieve their goal, regardless of doing business together,
Yep.
right? So giving away info, giving away assistance, regardless of doing business together. I think we need to stay away from rates, because rates is a part of the function of getting a customer.
Mhm.
And hey, listen, we've all been there, I think, where we've had customers where it's like, rate this, rate this, rate this, and after like 10 times, they're like, is there any business? Oh no, you were too high, or you were $20 lower than my incumbent, so they matched your rate. And it's like, okay, so I'm the baseline for you, right? I'm the new hungry sales rep in the door, and I'm the baseline for you. Okay, I have zero interest. Or how many reps actually ask that question? Because I know for a decade and a half, I never asked the question. I would just rate, never even find out where I sat on the totem pole, if I was even good. Never even worry about, is this customer using me to keep their incumbent honest? Like, none of those conversations ever hit the mental side of it. Until I really started, digging into the industry. But there's a difference between giving rates and saying, here's a project. And, the customer says, hey, listen, I got this massive project, and you're in the middle of it. And all of a sudden you realize, okay, there's no room for me to make money here. So you know what, Mr. Prospect, here's the supplier I was going to use. There's no room for me to make a margin in here, but they're awesome. They're aware of the whole project. I'm going to send an email and introduce you to.
That's huge.
And you walk away from that project, right? That, like, you're walking away monetarily. You're walking away from, you're allowing a supplier to talk to a customer directly. You think of all of these things that most people in this industry fear. Right? Oh no, customer can't know my margin. Oh my God, that who's the carrier? You say your broker name, and they're like, "Is that the carrier?" You're like, "No," but just all of this stuff that I can recall so vividly. Was the like, I can't. It's got to be a secret, because they're gonna find out. And I think when we live that life in the industry, it's so like one-dimensional. And this is a big reason why I suggest almost to everyone I speak with, cost plus. Open up the visibility screen. I'd like to hear from the audience. Has anyone out there ever done that, where you couldn't compete on a project, or you couldn't compete on a lane, so you decided to give that lane to your supplier, or give the customer? And I'll share a story with you. So when I started dealing with Dell Computer, we were making great margins, $600-700 a load. We had one carrier, Transcend Freight Systems in Mississauga. They would do all the business. I gave them everything. I dedicated to them. Was there more business involved? 100%. Did I want to take it and give it to some Joe Blow carrier? Not a chance. So we actually went for about a year, almost a year and a half, I would say, where it was like, every 6 months or something, there'd be another RFP come out, and our margins would go down a little bit. And it was the lawyer in the office I was working for, where he sat me down. He says, you know what, Dan? He goes, we really got to talk about these margins. I said, well, what? We're making like $250 a load. It's like 10 a day from Tennessee, 10 a day from Texas. we're golden. And he said, yeah, but here's the thing. At $250, it sounds like a lot. He goes, but we have 20 loads a day. So in 2 days, because it was a 3-day transit from some points going out west or Ontario, he goes, you could have up to 60 loads at $1 million plus each on the road. He goes, think about this. 1 or 2 loads a year go missing. We've lost all our profit on legal bills fighting a claim. And he goes, especially if there's something like that somebody considers shady or the insurance company denies or all that. He goes, so you have to take that into consideration. So long story short, it got to a point where the supplier was doing really, really good on it. It was a big piece of business for them. And I went up to them. I said, here, I cannot compete anymore. I can't make money on it in order to facilitate should something, God forbid, something go wrong. So I gave it to them. And the owner of the company was like, what? Like, it was unheard of. He'd never seen it before in brokerage. He says, you're just giving us the account like you don't want a commission or anything. I go, no. I go, there's no room.
Yeah.
Like, there's no room. And I said, I can't do it. And I said, I hope you understand that I can't do this and then lose a load and then lose all, like, it's just not worth it. And I wouldn't sleep at night. Yeah. But they were so overwhelmed by the fact that I gave them like a $6 million account.
Yeah.
Like, blown away. They're like, this is unheard of. It ended up turning like, and so I didn't give it with that. I didn't give it with any expectation. I just gave it because Rob deserved it. And it ended up being where they eventually hired me and I moved to Ontario and then we started a brokerage together. And that relationship spawned from really that point of giving without anything in return.
Crazy.
It really works. And I like, and there was zero expectations in return.
Yeah.
Zero.
You have to have morning shout out flatbed queen. I see.
Oh yeah, there we go. So Daman has something here. He says, instead of a doormat, you're just asking to move forward with clients that will fill your cup. But staying away from negative emotions should be our daily practice. I agree
absolutely, with that.
Daman. In sales, I would have a conversation just because I know people get busy. Plus, asking is just part of the job. Daman, you hit a nail on the head there so much. I had a gentleman here last week that was working, doing a lot of digging trenches and stuff like that. And we were having a conversation. And he's just getting into the workforce and all that. And we're having a conversation. He's like, I'd really like this, this, and this. And I said, so ask for it. He goes, I couldn't. I go, here's the thing. And Daman, tell me if you believe this as well, and DJ and everyone watching and listening. Like, people want to give. They want to help. But if you don't ask, they normally will not bring it up. It's like when you ask, it's like, oh, yeah, for sure, I'll do that. And I remember this was huge because I remember when Brian Biro first said, well, I'll introduce you to like all these people. I mean, we're talking John Assaraf, Sharon Lecter, like all these, Greg Reed, Don Green from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. He's like, I'll make introductions, Nito Cabane, and all these people. And I'm like, well, they'll be too busy. He goes, no. The people that are higher up on any quote unquote totem pole are the people that want to help more. Because they know giving with zero expectation is the key to everything.
It absolutely is. I agree. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And if I didn't ask, he would have never brought it up. Not out of like I'm going to keep it close to my chest. It's out of well, how do I know if Dan wants to meet people? Like, I don't know. Right? Yeah. Crazy. And then so, Greg, I've always asked, why are you calling me? Are you just looking for the lowest rate? Honestly, if you want great service, I'm your guy. But if you're looking for the cheapest price and paying for good service, I'm not your guy. Well,
I love
Greg, here's the thing. So
that's how it is.
How many customers want filet mignon and want to pay dollar store prices?
Well,
right? We're going to find them. Everybody. It's what people, especially in today's day and age, want to do. And again, there's been times I've walked into prospects, Greg being one of them, And Greg says, I need this and this. And I said, okay, I can't compete on that, but here's the supplier you should use. And Greg started using them. And then we were working on other stuff. And he said, Dan, you're like 3% higher. He goes, but just take it because you've helped me out over here. And when I look at the whole picture, it's a win-win. Mm-hmm. And that's where we really should be looking when we're prospecting is what's the whole picture? Greg, you just said, I'm not your guy if you want cheapest, but you know what? Hey, if you do this area, I can't compete in it, but you have that carrier, have this carrier, and I'll focus on this lane, mm-hmm. right? Now everyone wins, the customer's achieving their goals, and you facilitated that goal achievement. I think that's huge. Daman says,
this was about connecting.
Yeah. We'll always connect with them. If there's something that wasn't competitive with, I had no issues sharing the info. 100%. 100%. You need to communicate your intentions. Otherwise, no one knows how to help. Daman, that was the wording I was looking for, my friend, right? You need to communicate your intentions. Hey, can you help me introduce me to this person? Chuck Snow. Perfect example. I sent Chuck a couple of DMs. Never heard anything. You and I were talking with Dean. Dean was talking. I said, Dean, can you connect us? We'd love to have him on the show. Dean connected us. It's like, perfect. Yeah. Dean would have never known. Chuck's got and I remember when I started talking to Chuck, Chuck's like, man, I'm so sorry. I meant to get back to you like 4 times. I'm like, you're running $1 billion company.
Yeah.
I get it. You got things to do. I understand that, right? Like you're not in the Mediterranean cruising on your yacht going, what? I can't wait to ignore Deigan today. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things, right? Where 100% communicate your intentions. I love that. Clear communication, be specific. Yeah.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And it's communication with, and I think Daman will agree with this, but it's communication of clear communication of what you're actually feeling inside too. Like be clear.
Yes. I'm actually just looking for something here, and I apologize, everyone. I got so tied up today, but we are, and I know we're so over.
We are so over, DJ, but let's
we got to get this done because this is super important. All right. So,
hey,
the insight today and lane of the day, that lane of the day is Cherokee, Iowa, is a primary DC for Hy-Vee, large grocer for the Midwest. So, we are talking about Cherokee, Iowa to Topeka, Kansas. Right now, the line haul rate is $3.86 per mile. All in, including fuel surcharge, is $4.67 a mile. Contract rate is $4.57 a mile. And here's the thing. It's at $4.67 a mile. And it's down $1.12 year over year on a rate per mile. Down $1.12. Yeah. They're trending back up after dropping line haul rates are trending back up after dropping around $1.81 a mile since February. Holy crap. 11 cents a mile higher than the May average. So it's come up. So it was actually almost 123 that was down in May. So that is your lane of the day.
What lane was that again?
So that was Cherokee. Yeah, Cherokee. Yeah. Cherokee, Iowa to Topeka, Kansas. That's a cool name. That's a great handle. Cherokee, Iowa to Topeka, Kansas on reefer. It's back up 11 cents a mile higher than the May average. So if you're running that lane, all in rate per mile, including fuel surcharges, around the $1.67 mark for all y'all running that.
All right.
DJ.
Thank you so much, Dad, for that. And Dean.
Yes. And DJ still got a little thing going on with your camera there, but we'll get that.
Yeah, you see that?
But it's just like I was waiting for you to go.
I know. I was waiting for the whole light show to start again. It was
I was waiting for a rain to kick off in Cleveland. It was crazy.
But say thank you. So we are going to shut it down now. We are running over. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining us today. Make this Monday great. Make this week great. Finish the month strong. It is the end of June, y'all. So start prepping.
You're not 75% done your goals, right, my man and friends.
That's right. Yeah, start to get organized for that second half of this year. But look, you gotta reevaluate that data and figure out where you're at. But be honest with yourself. thank you seriously, everybody, for joining us like you do. Daman, man, all of your feedback and your comments today were amazing. So thank you. Thank you to American Logistics Centurion Trucking for seriously making this possible.
Oh, he's got a good one, DJ. It's that emotional connection with people that sells now on days. So sharing what you feel just gives us the authenticity, build a better relationship. I tell our staff to sell with the intention to help and serve versus selling for money. And they only convey this message if they truly connect with emotions and feelings behind it. And
yes. Yes. Please, everybody do that. If we all just did that, let me tell you,
it's kind of like merging on a highway. If you just all
if we all just
one, it'd be so much smoother.
You know, yes, I agree.
Don't be that person looking for the money to sneak up the outside and tuck in at the last second and say, "I can't wait to just give me that money, give me the money." And don't get me wrong,
give.
But don't get me wrong, we do it for profit, not for practice. I get that, right? Like, you have mouths to feed, you have a mortgage to pay, you have a roof to keep over, like you have, you need 4 jobs to put fuel in your car, like all of this kind of stuff, right? So it's there is that point to it, but where we're coming from today is give, regardless of what the outcome might be. Give. Don't hold it to your chest. If a colleague comes into the office and says, "I really need help on this lane," and you have a supplier in there, give them the supplier. Like, have the and again, Daman said it, communication. Have the conversation. This is my best supplier. Don't fuck it up. Don't. Because I've had that happen many times.
Yeah.
Giving people a supplier, something happens, there's waiting time. I'm like, "Well, I'm not paying you waiting time." And the supplier calls me and they're like, "Dan, this person, like, I'm really sorry. You're the best at that. They needed help. I'll work it out with you and stuff." So just give. Again, Daman said, clear communication, man. Communicate. Hey, this is the person that does XYZ for me. They are very important. I'll give them to you, but here's how they need to be treated. Like, set those expectations, because when things go wrong, you've set that already. You can't get pissed off when things go wrong if you haven't set that expectation.
Yes.
Sorry, DJ, go on.
Agreed. Great week this show. Great shows this week, guys. We got some great guests. I think we got some follow-up guests too, so it'll be fun. Don't miss out. Dean, Wednesday, as always, Triple D Day. So again, thank you all. Quote to take us out. I did switch because this was a quote that I just have loved forever. Brian Tracy, shout out. Always give without remembering, and always receive without forgetting.
Great quote for today.
Centurion Trucking, our motto is people before profit. Today's market requires more transparency, consistency, and focus on what our clients need to win. Centurion Trucking and American Logistics are poised to help their clients achieve and surpass their targets. If you're looking for a team that honors your needs, dreams, and aspirations, then get a hold of Daman at American Logistics